It was May 27th, 2021. The first ever Sonic Central presentation was being premiered on the official Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel, and my eyes were glued to the screen. At first, it seemed that nothing of note would be announced, some merch here, a cameo in an unrelated game there, but then, halfway through the stream, Sega blessed us with the announcement of Sonic Colors Ultimate. At that moment, I was ecstatic. Finally, a Sonic game that I already knew would be good. Finally, a Sonic game coming to modern platforms that I could confidently recommend to my Sonic skeptic friends. Finally, a Sonic game that Sega couldn't screw up. But as that September release date grew closer and more trailers began to come out, many started noticing weird things. Why does the lighting look so wrong? Why are Sonic's eyes closed in this shot? Why does the life icon now show Tails instead of Sonic? Of course, on September 7th, 2021, we would quickly find out. Sega screwed it up. Originally, this was going to be a brief 3 to 5 minute ordeal like any other modern SD or abandoned video of mine, but this release is such a textbook example of how not to handle a remaster that I feel it demands a deeper look, not just at the past, but also the present and future. This is Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Can you play it like that?
I don't know. Can I? Oh my...
Sonic Colors Ultimate quickly became the subject of ridicule upon its release, much to my surprise. I mean, Sonic freaking Colors? This should have been a slam dunk. Just increase the resolution and frame rate, maybe add a few quality of life features, and call it a day. Surely it can't be as bad as people are saying, right? Well, as you might be able to guess, it was. Videos began to rapidly spread of people's games rampantly crashing, having bizarre visual glitches, and even corrupting their save files. Sonic 06 may have been a broken mess, but even that game didn't crash or mess up your save, at least not this easily. The Nintendo Switch version was hit especially bad, with the entire game imploding on itself more severely than the Interstellar amusement park itself. Seriously, I wouldn't be surprised if people got seizures from playing this thing. How did this get past quality assurance? Was there quality assurance? Despite me being a Sonic fan, one who particularly likes Sonic Colors and was looking forward to this release, I did not buy a copy of Ultimate when it launched. In fact, I've never touched this version of the game until this year, when I finally bought it on sale on Steam. Since Sega has released a few patches since release, I was curious to know if the game was now worthy of a modern SD episode. So let's load it up and find out, shall we? After some struggling just to get the thing rendering on the correct monitor, we're in the game, and wow, this might be one of the worst opening logos I've ever seen. Blind Squirrel Games. Yep, Sega outsourced this one, just like Sonic Boom back in 2012. We'll talk more about these guys later, don't you worry. Right off the bat, Sonic Colors Ultimate is ugly compared to its Wii counterpart. The lighting engine seems to have been completely overhauled, and not for the better if you ask me. The contrast and saturation are blindingly high, the image is smeared with bloom and motion blur, and Sonic seems to have been turned into a glow stick. The only thing I can give this remaster is the increased resolution and frame rate. The game now runs in 60 FPS, and as far as I know, can also run in 4K, though I don't have a 4K monitor to test that. Regardless, this hardly nets Ultimate any points, since Dolphin has had this for years now, and with a much better looking lighting engine. To depress you even more, the game will sometimes use AI upscaled cutscenes based on the original 480p video files from the original. Why couldn't they re-render these? I frankly have no idea, but it's a nice reminder of what the game could have looked like before your eyes are blasted with bloom again. The audio has also been hit pretty hard. The music has been completely remixed, despite it really not needing to be, and some of these have been absolutely mutilated, with the worst examples easily being Tropical Resort Act 1 and Planet Wisp Act 1. Not that this matters, since the sound effects have been cranked up to 11, often making the music barely audible. You'd think they would give the option to adjust the sound and music volume separately, but for some reason they're on the same slider in the options. At that point, why even have a slider? You're already inconveniencing me, so why not make me use the Windows audio mixer for extra kicks? Well, fortunately for me, the game offers plenty of other opportunities to suffer, such as the gameplay, which also isn't safe from this lousy port job. The game punches you in the face with that fact as soon as you enter Tropical Resort, where you'll discover that the boost and stomp buttons are switched for some reason. Thankfully this you can change, but why is it even mapped like this in the first place? Unleashed, Generations, and Forces all use the same established control scheme, so you'd think that Colors Ultimate would follow suit. Aside from that oddity, Colors Ultimate plays largely the same as its predecessor on the the Wii, albeit with some strange additions. One of these is the Tails save, which replaces all instances of extra lives, since the life system has been gutted entirely. Now when you die, instead of quickly restarting for the last checkpoint, Tails will lock you in a painfully long animation before mercifully dropping you back where you left off. Another addition is the Jade Wisp, which is used to access previously inaccessible areas to collect red rings. This is a cool addition in theory, but it clearly wasn't very well thought out. My second time using the thing and I'm already soft-locked. Great. With all this said, not all of these additions are bad. One that I actually like is the perfect homing attack, which will rupture your eardrums when you time it correctly. No, that's not the reason I like it. I like it because this will add a little extra boost to your gauge, which helps balance out sections that previously neglected to give you boost wisps when they would have been helpful in those parts of the stage. Unfortunately, that's about it as far as good ideas go. Everything else that was added here feels extremely tacky and amateur in the way they were implemented, especially the cosmetics, which only really changed the color of Sonic's gloves and shoes and his boost aura, which happens to be the most expensive option. While the game didn't crash, corrupt my save, or give me a seizure, that much is fixed. This is clearly the inferior version of Sonic Colors, and it's appalling that the game really hasn't improved much in the 2 years that it's been on the market. So that begs the question, why? Well, it all comes back to Blind Squirrel Games. Presumably, since Sonic Team was busy cobbling together Sonic Frontiers at the time, Sega outsourced Sonic Colors Ultimate to an up-and-coming studio. Not much is known about Blind Squirrel itself, but it is pretty apparent that these guys were severely crunched to release this on time. The biggest evidence of this comes from the game's internal data, which revealed that it was using Godot, a game engine that's become fairly popular with indie developers due to apparently being user-friendly for making 3D games. That would likely explain the strange-looking lighting and other graphical quirks. Instead of porting over the lighting engine from the original release, Blind Squirrel opted to go an open source route instead, I suppose to get the job done faster. This haphazard approach to game development seeps into every other aspect of the game as well, resulting in the bizarre glitches that some players have experienced. With that knowledge, we have one more question to answer. Can it be fixed? Well, when it comes to the Sonic fanbase, if there's a will, there's a way, so yes, I think it can. Unfortunately, despite the game being out for nearly 2 years and having received a Steam port, not much has been done thus far. That's not to say nobody has been making their own contributions. There's a couple of mods that attempt to improve various aspects of the release, however these are far from providing the original experience on PC while maintaining all the improvements. So what's the holdup? Well, I think it's Dolphin. If someone is tech savvy enough to install mods and has the desire to play Sonic Colors with an increased resolution and frame rate, chances are they're just going to emulate it. Doing this, you avoid all of the problems introduced in the remaster without putting in much effort. However, I'm not satisfied with this. For all of the issues Sonic Colors Ultimate may have, it is a modern re-release of Sonic Colors in HD with modern controller support, and I want people to support that. As important as emulation is for preservation, I truly believe that if the community had the drive to make mods for this version, it could become the definitive way to play, much like how SIDX Mod Installer is for Sonic Adventure. The way is there. It's time we find the will. Sonic Colors Ultimate is an absolute train wreck of a remaster, and one that I doubt will ever be fixed in any official capacity. If Sonic Adventure DX still has all of its problems, then I don't see why Sega would bother with this either. But that doesn't mean it has to stay that way, and if the fans ever fix this release, I will be more than happy to finally bring back modern SD. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other Sonic content and subscribe for more video game content just like this. You can also become a member for just $1 per month to get your name in the credits, exclusive emojis, and permanent access to my Discord server. But either way, stay tuned, thanks for watching, and as always, enjoy life.